The Bray of the Bells by David Matthew Barnes. The setting is the ballroom of an upscale hotel in a southern city, and the time is a summer night. At rise, the ballroom is empty. There is a stillness to the space, a calm before the storm. There are empty tables and chairs. On one of the tables are 2 pitchers of ice water and plastic drinking cups. A moment passes before Polly and Brenda enter. Polly is 39. Brenda is 40. While Polly's appearance suggests a permanent dark and gothic vibe, Brenda is glamorous and sophisticated. Although Brenda is originally from the country of Russia, she has lived in the United States since a young age. As Russian was her first language, she has a slight accent, which is more nuanced than constant. All the women who enter the ballroom were raised in the South. This should be evident in how they speak and how they behave.
I have no idea what I'm doing here.
You came because you care.
I'll agree that Carol has been good to me over the years, but care? I'm not sure if I'm capable of doing that.
Well, why else would you have showed up?
Now that I have, I really regret it. I already do.
Treat it like a vacation, Polly. I'm assuming you got checked in all right?
Yes. My room is on the 11th floor, perfect for jumping. However, I don't know how shallow the Mississippi is this time of year.
It's good to see you too.
Don't mind me, Brenda. You know what I'm like. I mean, I like you. You're the only nice one among us. I suspect even Carol is secretly a cobra behind all her church hymns and bake sales and fake smiles. This place, this hotel, it's too fancy for me. I feel like I'm bound to break something.
Or fill your purse with silverware.
I would never.
You have before, on more than one occasion.
You speak nothing but lies, Brenda.
Who cares if you hate everyone? Natasha's footing the bill for the weekend.
As usual.
You don't think it's a nice gesture?
No, I think it's emotional blackmail.
Oh, did you change your major back to psychology?
3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate grad school, by the way, and that's after sleeping with a professor and getting high with students who are half my age. It's just another thing I thought I would love, including psychology. Already I've discovered legitimate reasons to hate everyone, and I have theories to back it up.
Starting with your father.
No, that's too easy. So is Natasha. Who I really hate is Carol.
Carol? She's the sweetest person in the world. What did she do to you?
Nothing. Except she's happy.
Madeline enters the room. In her hand is a tropical cocktail. Madeline's look is very polished, very professional, yet the cracks in her facade are apparent upon a closer look. She's a ticking time bomb.
Wow, I thought this was a 5-star resort, but it seems like they let just about anybody in here.
Madeline, it's good to see you too.
Why, thank you, darling. You're just as cute as ever, Brenda. Still with that gorgeous smile. Hello, Polly.
Madeline.
Tortured any souls today?
Not yet, but the night is still young.
Well, we sure aren't. Look at us, we're not 15 anymore.
Well, thank God for that.
Is she here? Has she arrived yet?
Who, Carol?
No, the spawn of Satan.
Natasha will be here any moment.
Then we should enjoy our dignity while we still have it.
When did we ever have any dignity?
I was hoping Natasha would mellow out, especially since she turned 40.
Whatever you do, don't mention that. I heard someone called her ma'am the other day and she went ballistic. The news traveled through 3 counties before it reached me.
There's nothing wrong with being 40.
Says the one of us who's still 39.
Well, You kill me, Brenda. You're always so good at remembering birthdays.
And Christmas and Mother's Day and Halloween. I swear, Brenda, you alone are keeping the greeting card industry in business. I wonder sometimes, what would you do if you didn't have an occasion to celebrate?
I bet Carol is going to make her maid of honor.
As she should.
I hope so.
Lord knows none of us want the job, because you know it'd only be a matter of minutes before Godzilla takes over, especially if she offers to pay for the wedding. And she will, and especially if Carol lets her.
And she will.
You really do hate her, don't you?
I could tolerate Natasha when she was poor like the rest of us, but I hate that she's so rich now. She buys houses like the rest of us buy groceries.
And she reminds us of that fact every chance she gets.
I keep waiting for karma to pay that bitch back. Thankfully, God made me a very patient woman.
Oh, did he really?
No, not at all. That's why I'm grateful for rum. It numbs my non-existent soul.
Oh, are we eating? I'm starving. The restaurant in the lobby didn't look too bad.
As soon as everyone gets here, we can eat then.
What about an appetizer to hold us over?
Or better yet, a cocktail.
Speaking of, did you catch a glimpse of that bellhop?
You mean that delicious slice of Italian eye candy wandering around this place with a come-hither stare and a body built for sin? No, I must have missed him.
I forgot you're married.
Thankfully, God made me a very faithful woman.
Did he really?
Well, I have no morals, so I call dibs on him.
Oh my God, he can't be older than 25.
Even better. Stamina. To be exact, he's 24. I know because I already asked him, and his name is Massimo. He sends money every month to his family who lives in an Italian fishing village.
Well, use your magic slut powers and get him in here. I need something to snack on.
I'm only a whore when I have to be.
Let's all be mindful about eating in front of Carol. She mentioned to me that she's been dieting because of the wedding.
Carol's always dieting.
Well, she's marrying a dentist, and apparently he's very good looking and very fit.
And very rich.
So, Carol feels that she has to starve herself just because she's marrying a man who cleans teeth for a living? That's absurd. She should put 20 pounds on just to spite him.
I don't know the whole story.
What's there to know? Don't you see? The universe has created a beautiful sense of harmony and justice.
Come again?
Madeline, you were homecoming queen and prom queen.
And Miss Magnolia Princess and Miss Cherry Blossom.
And Miss Tapioca and Miss Kill Me Now. We all thought you would be the one to marry a doctor or a lawyer, or even a dentist. But you didn't. Instead, sweet, shy Carol, the girl everyone overlooked in high school, has landed herself a dentist. And a handsome one at that.
What's your point, Polly?
My point is that destiny has an interesting way of unraveling our expectations. I mean, hell, when you think about it, none of us turned out the way we were supposed to. Brenda was supposed to go to college and change the world. You were supposed to be a movie star. Natasha was supposed to become a politician's wife or somebody's mistress. Carol was supposed to be a school teacher or a nurse or a housewife. And me...
We all thought you were going to be a crypt keeper or a witch.
Well, you're right about one account. All of this just proves that the rest of our lives shouldn't be determined in high school. Just because we grew up in a small town doesn't mean we have to become the cookie-cutter versions of ourselves everyone wanted us to be.
Cookie cutter?
We didn't. When you think about it, we proved them wrong. Sure, none of us became those things or married the type of man we thought we would, but I'm glad we didn't. I think we're much more interesting now than we were back then.
When do we become interesting?
Is your life boring, Maddie?
God, you have no idea. I keep praying for a scandal.
Is that why you're here? Because you had nothing better else to do?
Of course not.
Liar.
Well, what about you, Polly?
I have no shame, I'll tell you the God-forsaken truth. I'm here because I have no friends. I'm a divorced woman with no life to speak of.
What are you talking about? You have us.
No, I don't. I don't have anyone, Brenda. So stop rubbing it in. I'm here because I'm bored like Madeline and I'm lonely like you.
I am not lonely.
Then I guess that makes both of us liars.
Natasha makes a grand entrance like the queen bee she is. She's dressed in couture, including expensive sunglasses and a purse worth a fortune. Her presence is commanding and undeniably sexy. As usual, something has annoyed her.
Speaking of,
Well, I don't know about the three of you, but I'd rather get married in Guantanamo Bay than in a shabby hotel like this. Who are they trying to fool?
It is a 5-star resort.
I wonder if it used to be a prison.
would that make you the warden? Hello, Natasha.
Madeline, you're looking trim.
I don't eat much.
Ah, the diet of a black widow.
More like a happy bird who kills the nasty spider. Your hair looks good.
Thank you. I think.
Natasha, it's been so many years.
8, to be exact.
It's nice to see you again.
Well, you haven't aged at all, Brenda. Have you had work done?
No, I am all natural. Just the way Joey lacks me.
Oh, yes, Joey. The man who made the mistake of standing up to me and blaming it on the tequila. How is his nose, by the way?
It's still broken, I think, but it gives him a great look, sort of like a boxer.
The dog or the fighter?
He's a little bit of both.
Yes, he is.
Any idea when the guest of honor is planning on showing up?
Oh, Carol's already here. She's up in her room, crying.
What did you do to her?
Me? I did nothing to her at all. I just checked to make sure that her room was to her liking. And to remind her how lucky she was to be marrying a dentist when she should be marrying a shoe salesman or math teacher or anyone else who isn't rich.
Why would you say that to her?
Well, someone had to. Carol needs to be reminded how grateful she should be that a man like that took an interest in a woman like her. Really, I was doing Carol a favor.
You seem to do a lot of favors, Natasha.
What can I say? I was born a generous soul.
Are we sure about that?
Well, I'm a giver, Madeline, dear. Just the other day, my elderly neighbor, Juanita, told me how lucky she was to know me. What a joy. I couldn't agree with her more. And that's why I'm now allowing her to pass by my house when she walks her dog. No more crossing the street for her.
I'm very grateful that I'm not your neighbor.
Likewise, sugar. Although the chance of that happening is slim to none. To be neighbors, well, you'd have to live in my neighborhood, and I'm afraid we don't have space there for a double wide.
Yes, we all know you're rich now, Natasha.
Among other things.
You remind us of how much money and how many houses you have every chance you get.
I do no such thing. That would make me pretentious, and I'm anything but.
Tell me, is this weekend really about bringing us all together to help Carol plan her wedding, or is this just another opportunity for you to foot the bill and keep us all in your gratitude?
Well, you've never been grateful for anything I've done for you, Polly Empty Pockets. Might I remind you that I helped bury your mother? Otherwise, the county would have lowered her into the ground in a cardboard box.
Too bad we didn't get a 2-for-1 special. Buy one box, get another one free.
Would it kill you to say thank you?
Yes, actually, I think it would.
Well, for what it's worth, I never wanted to be friends with you when we were in high school. Brenda insisted we let you in on our group. She felt bad for you. I thought you had scabies and turned tricks for lunch money, but what do I know?
I seem to remember finding you beneath the bleachers once or twice with your designer skirt hiked up to your tits and your silk panties down around your thick ankles. What was it you said you were doing? Oh, yes, showing Zayden, Oscar, and Scott your school spirit.
Well, their morale was low after losing the big game to Greenville. Any other cheerleader would have done the same thing.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I was a cheerleader, and I was a virgin until I was 20.
Well, not all of us can be saints, Brenda.
This is true.
And not all of us can be like Carol.
No offense, but who would want to be?
Aren't you a cougar, Madeline? Isn't that what they call lonely older women who lust after younger men?
I'm happily married, Natasha. You should give it a try.
I have. Edgar and I were married 2 years ago.
And you didn't invite us.
It was a small, intimate ceremony.
I read about your wedding online. 200 of your closest friends were there.
Were they all football players?
How come you didn't want us to be there, Natasha?
My life is very different now. I live in a different town. I keep company with a different social circle.
There's nothing different about you, Natasha.
What do you mean by that?
She means just because we went to high school together, we don't have to be friends. We don't have to like each other.
But we do like each other.
No, we don't.
I don't believe that.
Listen to Polly, Brenda. For once, she's making sense.
I don't miss any of you, and I certainly know you don't miss me. Not for a single second. We can stand around here all night and pretend we care. But why bother? Let's be honest for once in our lives. We can't stand each other. Deny it all you want. The truth is, we hated each other in high school, and we loathe each other now. And none of you can convince me otherwise. You know, I think about it a lot. How our paths crossed when we were young, and we fooled ourselves into believing we were friends just because we all grew up in the same shitty small town. Just because we were pretty and popular doesn't mean we had anything in common. Not then, not now. In fact, we don't even know anything about the present lives we live, the people we've become. When you think about it, we're nothing more than strangers. And I, for one, would like to keep it that way. The only reason why I showed up tonight is because I needed some time away from the pathetic existence I call my life. I could give a shit about some trashy wedding of someone from my past who finally found some self-esteem because a dentist decided to pay her some attention. I'd like to say I have better things to do with my time, but I'd be lying. Something we've all done, we've all been doing since the first day we met.
Carol enters. She is carrying 2 plates. There are pieces of cornbread on one plate. On the other are 10 fudge brownies. Carol is dressed to impress, but the result is dated and frumpy. There is an expression of guilt on her face.
Oh my God. I just banged the bellhop.
Come again?
We did. 3 times, actually, within the last hour. I'm a horrible person.
Madeline steps in and takes the plates from Carol. She places them on the table where the pitchers of water are. Natasha goes to Carol and puts an arm around her.
Carol, sugar, why don't you have a seat and tell us all about it? It might do you good to clear your conscience.
Yes, you're right. I think it'll help. I feel just awful about what I've done.
Carol sits down at the table where the food and water are. The others follow suit and sit around her, anxious. Madeline gives Polly a look.
I'm surprised you're sitting with us, Polly, considering how much you hate us all.
Just trying to make the best of it, Madeline.
We'll try harder, dear.
Brenda pours Carol a cup of water and hands it to her.
Thank you, Brenda. I'm awful thirsty.
Carol gulps the water down.
Want some more?
Oh, if it's not too much trouble.
Just give her the picture, for God's sakes. I want to hear the filthy details.
Living vicariously is a sin.
So are half the things you did by the time you turned 12.
He came to my room and knocked on the door. At first, I thought maybe it was Natasha coming back to say more horrible things about me that would make me cry and want to slit my own throat. But it wasn't her. It was him. Massimo. I wanted to be polite, so I invited him in. He was carrying 2 plates, cornbread and fudge brownies. He said they were compliments of the catering company who provides food for all the weddings in the hotel. Of course, I realized immediately how attractive Massimo is. He's young and beautiful and Italian. He sat down on the edge of the bed and he asked me to sit next to him. I did. He said nice things to me and about me. I was so upset because of what Natasha had said to me. I drank up his kind words like a milk to a kitten, only he proved to be a tiger. He asked if he could touch me, and I let him. I mean, what woman wouldn't want a man like that to desire her? And that's all I've ever wanted. To be desired.
Hell, Carol, maybe he'll get you a discount on your wedding. I mean, since you put out and all.
Oh, will you bite your tongue for once, Maddie?
Oh, don't be such a prude, Brenda. For God's sakes, you're from Russia. Your people are used to shoving all sorts of things into their orifices. Let's be happy for Carol.
Happy? How can we be happy? She cheated on her fiancé.
No, I didn't. Herbie is no longer my fiancé because there isn't going to be a wedding.
Herbie? His name is Herbert?
Herbert Gooden III Jr. is his name.
How do you know that?
Dr. Gooden and I are members of the
You know
same...
that, Natasha.
We are members of the same country club.
And how well do you know the good Dr. Natasha?
Well, I don't like what you're insinuating, sugar.
I'm not insinuating anything. I know a guilty woman when I see one. No wonder why you brought us all here and why you want to pay for Carol's wedding. Because you feel ashamed. Because you've already slept with the groom, just like you slept with all our boyfriends before graduation.
Well, I did no such thing.
Yes, you did.
Admit it, Natasha, you did the deed with the dentist.
Natasha, you whore! Did you fuck my Herbie?
Oh, like he even matters to you, Carol. If he did, you wouldn't have been humping the bellhop like a sad, pathetic woman desperate for a hot man to look at her twice.
Oh, I feel left out. I know you didn't sleep with my high school boyfriend because he was gay.
Imagine how I feel. Everyone thinks I cheated on my husband, and I never have. Not once. Damn, it sucks to be the decent one.
Why don't you tell everyone what else you did, Natasha?
What is she talking about? Brenda, what are you talking about?
Ask her. She knows.
All of you know nothing. You're simple. You're simple, dumb country girls who can't think for themselves and will never have the life that I have. You all hated it, how the boys would trip over themselves to talk to me. including your boyfriends.
And some of our husbands, too.
Brenda, are you saying?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yes, I slept with Brenda's husband. It happened years ago. I bumped into Joey while I was on a business trip, and one thing led to another.
That's not how he tells the story.
Well, which one of us are you going to believe?
No one.
I didn't mean for it to happen.
He said you followed him into the hotel bar. He said you bought him drinks and got him so drunk he could barely walk. So you offered to help him upstairs to his room. But what you don't know, Natasha, is that he was planning to cut his trip short because I was at home miscarrying our child. I was alone and he was with you. He should have been with me. I have forgiven him for sleeping with you. How can I judge a man for a sin so many have committed? You're the one I blame. You might think we were jealous of you, that we all wanted to be you when we were younger, but the truth is we hate you. We've always hated you. None of us want to be anything like you. You're no friend to us, Natasha. You never have been. You just take and take without a sign of remorse. You don't feel bad. You don't feel, you feel joy. A sad, twisted joy when you destroy the happiness of someone else. And you do it all the time. But one day, someone will stop you. Someone will destroy you. And I hope that someone is me. I am here tonight to tell you that I have made it my mission in life to ruin you once and for all. Nothing will make me happier.
Jesus, Brenda, I didn't even know you had that in you.
I did.
Might surprise you all, but I have had 2 nervous breakdowns within the last year. I pray I don't have another one before midnight.
Well, they say the 3rd time's a charm.
That's not something to joke about, Maddie.
Do you see any of us laughing?
All of you laugh behind my back.
I'll laugh right to your face. After all, you're just one bad punchline now. A cheap joke.
Say what you want about me. It doesn't change a thing. I still have it all. Did I mention that Edgar and I bought another house?
No, you don't say.
Well, I was planning on inviting all of you over to see it this weekend, but I've changed my mind.
Well, that is just the best news I think I've heard in all my life. I'm really happy for you. I'm ecstatic. I think my face just might catch fire from joy I feel. Imagine that. You and Edgar have bought another house. How many does that make now? I don't have enough fingers and toes to keep count. And like you said, us country girls are too simple to know our last names. 9, 10, 411. Mercy me. You really did grow up and buy the town. The next thing we know, you'll be running for mayor. But don't worry. If you do, I swear on a nameless grave that I will keep my mouth shut about that incident with that Mexican boy on your daddy's farm. You're just becoming a regular queen of real estate, aren't you? Taking those houses from the poor people who've lost their jobs and can't afford their mortgage no more, then selling it to land developers for a mighty high price. I think you are a genius with a gift from God. You know, I don't know how you sleep at night with the loud rustling of those angel wings that fly around your head. I'm sure you must know that the rest of us are a tad bit jealous of you. Oh, don't look surprised. It's no secret that you've always gotten everything that you've ever wanted. But you deserve it, honey. Yes, you do. You deserve exactly what you get in this lifetime and the ones to follow. Look at you, so thin and fit. You got a great figure. And your hair? Well, if we didn't know any better, sugar, we would truly believe that icy blonde was a real color. And that little sports car I always see you zooming around town in? Well, I think you look just divine in it. Very glamorous and sexy. Sort of like one of those women that tempt a minister into a life of debauchery and sin. Lord, who knew you'd turn out to be so clever with money? Maybe that's why I feel so much joy for you deep down in my heart, Natasha, since you came from nothing. And your daddy lost the family farm, and your mama went to jail for fraud for embezzling money from that church fundraiser we have for those crippled children in Monaco. Makes it all the more special that you've mastered the art of finances. You're a real pro now. I bet you could get $1 from every man you meet just for being you. It's a good thing Edgar finally put a ring on your finger. To tell you the truth, I was a little nervous. You might have ended up in one of those tawdry hot spots in New Orleans, trying to secretly care for an illegitimate bastard baby, or ridding your once tarnished soul of a filthy disease you contracted from one of those sailor men you used to be so fond of. But you are living proof that all things get better with time. Well, another house. That's just the best news I've heard all summer. Somebody pass me the cornbread. I'm famished.
In a fit of rage, Natasha picks up the plate of cornbread and hurls it in Madeline's direction.
Try again, Natasha. You got shitty aim, darling. It's going to take more than cornbread to take me out.
Natasha reaches for the plate of brownies, but Polly intercepts.
No way, these look too good to throw.
They're divine. I shoved 2 of them down my throat on the elevator ride down here. I think I'm a stress eater.
Aren't we all?
I don't want to get married, Polly.
Then don't.
I don't want to be here.
Then leave.
You know something? You're absolutely right. I'm sick and tired of trying to make everybody so motherfucking happy. I mean, look what it's done to me. To all of us. This
Girls
is it.
stand.
This is it. I mean it. I don't like any of you. I never have. God knows I never will. We aren't friends. We don't even know the meaning of the word. I never want to see any of you ever again. I'm done.
Carol turns and exits, leaving the other 4 women stunned. Lights slowly fade to black. Curtain.